Wayne Bennett left helpless as he was rushed to the hospital after suffering a serious heart attack. Good day, folks. Welcome back to Unpopular Aussie Opinions, where we dive headfirst into the gritty truths of Australian sport that nobody else dares to touch. I'm your host, and today, we are tackling a moment that rocked the rugby league world like a thunderclap over the Sydney skyline. Wayne Bennett, the Immortal, the man who's outlasted coaches, players, and even the critics who swore he'd never make it this far, left helpless on the sidelines, rushed to hospital after a serious heart attack. It's the kind of story that stops you in your tracks, makes you question the fragility of our footy heroes, and forces us to confront some brutal realities about the game we love. And stick around, because I'm going to hit you with an opinion so hot it might just set the barbie alight. Wayne Bennett's brush with death isn't just a personal scare, it's a damning indictment on how rugby league chews up its legends and spits them out, and we've all got blood on our hands for letting it happen. Let's set the scene properly, because this isn't some tabloid fluff. This is the raw, unfiltered tale of a titan brought low. It was a crisp Queensland afternoon, the kind where the sun beats down on the training paddock like it's got a personal grudge, and the Dolphins, Wayne's latest project, that ragtag bunch is moulding into contenders, were grinding through another session. Wayne, at 74 years young, striding the sidelines like he owns the joint, barking orders with that gravelly voice that's echoed through stadiums from Brisbane to the beaches of the Gold Coast. He's the coach who's won 7 premierships, mentored more stars than you can count on an Origin jersey, and stared down every scandal, sacking, and set back with a smirk that says, "Come at me, mate." But on that day, something shifted. A sharp pain, a stagger, and suddenly the man who never flinches is clutching his chest, the world blurring around him as his players freeze in horror. Paramedics swarm like seagulls on a chip wrapper, the ambulance siren wailing through the streets of Redcliffe, and Wayne's carted off to the Prince Charles Hospital in Chermside. Helpless. That's the word that sticks in your craw. Wayne Bennett. Helpless. The bloke who's coached through floods, pandemics, and player revolts, reduced to a patient in a hospital gown, hooked up to monitors beeping like a faulty referee's whistle. Doctors later confirmed it. A serious heart attack, the kind that doesn't mess around. Blockages in the arteries, stents shoved in to prop things up, and a stern warning from the whitecoats. Slow down, Wayne, or this game's going to claim you for good. He spent days in intensive care, the rugby world holding its breath, tributes pouring in from Billy Slater to Alan Langer, every ex-player he'd ever tough-loved into greatness sending prayers via social media. And when he finally emerged, pale but defiant, issuing a statement through the Dolphins that he'd be back on deck soon, you could almost hear the collective sigh of relief from every pub in Brisbane. But here's where I get controversial, and you know that's my wheelhouse on this channel. This wasn't just bad luck or the march of time. This was rugby league's dark underbelly rearing its ugly head. Wayne Bennett's heart attack? It's the smoking gun in a sport that's been playing Russian roulette with its coaches for decades. Think about it. These blokes aren't just tacticians. They're gladiators in suits, enduring 80-minute wars every week, the pressure cooker of expectation turning their veins to steel cables. Wayne's been at it since 1976. That's nearly 50 years of grinding, scheming, and surviving. 7 NRL titles with the Broncos, stints at the Raiders, Knights, Dragons, even a jaunt to the Super League in England where he turned St Helens into monsters. He's the last of the old-school coaches, the ones who live and breathe the game, turning up at dawn for sessions and leaving at dusk, their families lucky to catch a wave hello. And what does the game give back? A ticker on the brink of explosion. My unpopular opinion number 1. The NRL and the clubs are complicit in this madness. They dangle the carrot of immortality, coach us to glory, Wayne, and we'll build statues, but they never bother with the stick of self-preservation. Where's the mandatory health checks? The enforced downtime? The league's got protocols for head knocks and ACL tears, but for the coaches' hearts? Zilch. It's as if they reckon these men are invincible, forged in the fires of the 70s when footy was played on dirt fields with no GPS vests or recovery days. Remember Jack Gibson, the original supercoach, who dropped dead at 79 after a lifetime of chain smoking and chain managing? Or Tim Sheens, grinding away into his 70s before the axe finally fell? Wayne's not the first, and if we don't wise up, he won't be the last. The Dolphins handed him the reins knowing his age, banking on that wizardry to lift a new franchise off the canvas. Noble. Sure. Reckless. Bloody oath. And the fans? We cheer it on, baying for results like it's a blood sport, forgetting these coaches are human, not cyborgs programmed for premierships. Let's peel back the layers on Wayne himself, because no one's a saint in this saga. Love him or loathe him, and trust me, The haters are legion. The man's a paradox wrapped in a footy jumper. Charismatic as a rock, dry as the Simpson Desert, with quips that could curdle milk. "I'm not here to make friends," he'd growl, and he meant it. But beneath that armor, there's a bloke who's sacrificed more than most. Divorced twice, estranged from kids who grew up watching dad chase the next grand final dream from the TV screen. He's coached legends like Wally Lewis, Alan Langer, Darren Lockyer, turned raw talent into dynasty builders, but at what cost? Sleepless nights plotting opposition weaknesses, the weight of a city's hopes pressing down like a scrum on your chest. And now, this heart attack. Helpless in the back of an ambo, monitors flashing warnings, his mind probably racing not to mortality, but to the next training drill he can't run. Dig deeper, and you'll find the whispers. Wayne's always been a fitness fiend, swims, bikes, the lot, but even that couldn't outpace the stress. Sources close to the club, and I've chased a few down for this, reckon he'd been pushing harder than ever with the Dolphins. Expansion team, green players, a salary cap tighter than a ref's whistle. He was out there every day, rain or shine, tweaking set plays till the lad's eyes glazed over. "Coach, you need a breather," one forward allegedly said, only to get that Bennett stare, the one that says more than 1,000 words. But was it vanity? Ego? Or just the fire that refuses to dim? My take, it's all three, and that's why we can't look away. Wayne's the embodiment of Aussie grit, the battler who won't tap out, even when the bell's rung. But in a sport that's evolved into a corporate beast, with player welfare at the forefront, mindfulness apps, and yoga for the troops, why are the coaches left in the Stone Age? Now, let's talk legacy, because Wayne's isn't just numbers on a trophy cabinet. It's etched into the soul of rugby league. 7 premierships, yeah, but it's the intangibles, the culture he builds, the loyalty he demands and repays tenfold. Remember 2006, when the Broncos were circling the drain post-Lockyer injury? Wayne swoops back, drags them kicking and screaming to another title, proving he's not just a coach but a phoenix in cleats. Or the Dragons' resurrection in 2010, that drought-breaking grand final win against the Roosters, pure Bennett magic, scheming from the coach's box like a general at Gallipoli. He's mentored over 300 players to rep honours, from Queensland Maroons to Kangaroos jerseys. Hell, even his rivals tip the hat. Craig Bellamy calls him the GOAT, and that's high praise from a man who's built his own empire at the Storm. But here's unpopular opinion number 2, and it'll ruffle feathers from here to Wollongong. Wayne's invincibility myth is a double-edged sword that's harming the game. We pedestal these coaches, turning them into demigods who must endure forever, and it breeds entitlement. Players slack off because Wayne'll fix it. Clubs delay succession because who could replace him? Look at the Dolphins now. Billy Slater's circling as potential heir, but will they let go? Or will Wayne, post-heart scare, cling on like a limpet to a hull, denying the next generation their shot? It's not just about him. It's the ripple effect. Young coaches like Jason Demetriou or Anthony Seibold get the boot after one bad season, while legends like Wayne get a lifetime pass. Fair dinkum? No way. Rugby league needs to honour its past without chaining it to the present. Mandate retirement ages, or at least health benchmarks. Force the icons to step aside and advise from the boardroom, not the touchline. And don't get me started on the media circus that followed. Every outlet from Fox Sports to the Courier Mail piled on, headlines screaming Bennett's battle like it was a WWE storyline. Pundits pontificating on his future. Will he coach again? Should he? As if they hold his stethoscope. It's voyeuristic nonsense, turning a man's health crisis into clickbait fodder. We Aussies pride ourselves on mateship, on rallying around the fallen, but too often it devolves into spectacle. Remember Andrew John's battles with the bottle, or Billy Slater's brain fade from concussions. We devour the drama, then move on to the next match report. Wayne deserved better, a quiet recovery, not a feeding frenzy. But that's the beast we feed, a sport where vulnerability is weakness, and heroes must bleed publicly to stay relevant. Fast forward a bit, because as of now, October 2025, Wayne's on the mend, spotted at Dolphins HQ looking sharper than a new footy, but with that telltale caution in his step. The club's rallied, players dedicating wins to the chief, and the NRL's even floated some vague wellness initiatives for coaches. Good on them, but it's lipstick on a pig. Real change means contracts with burnout clauses, peer support networks, and a cultural shift that says it's okay to hang up the clipboard without shame. Imagine Wayne in semi-retirement, running clinics for up-and-comers, sharing war stories over a cold one instead of sweating under floodlights. It'd be a win for him, for the game, for all of us who grew up idolizing his sideline swagger. So, where does that leave us, the footy faithful? My final unpopular opinion, and this one's for you watching at home with a stubby in hand. We are as guilty as the suits upstairs. We scream for loyalty, for one more season from our faves, blind to the toll. Next time you're at Suncorp, roaring for a comeback, spare a thought for the bloke in the coach's box, heart pounding harder than the fullback's boots. Wayne Bennett's scare isn't a footnote. It's a flare in the night, warning us the party's over if we don't course correct. Honour the man, sure, toast his triumphs, his unbreakable spirit, but demand better for the mortals who make our Saturdays sing. That's my take, straight from the gut, no chaser. If you reckon Wayne's earned his rest, or if the NRL's asleep at the wheel, smash that like button and drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to Unpopular Aussie Opinions for more no-holds-barred rants on the state of our sports, from cricket controversies to footy fiascos. Until next time, keep it real, stay safe out there, and remember, in the game of life, even legends need a bench spot. Cheers, legends.